Are you... Okay, my light's acting all weird. Never mind. So, okay, welcome to week 6. It's week 6, and like 2 weeks ago I made the top 10 things about me, and it got quite good. People thought it was quite good. I can't even talk properly. Okay, so I used to play a lot of games with my friends and all, especially like League of Legends and player team-based. I also played a lot of Prop Hunt and Gmod, stuff like that, but they're not what we're gonna do here. So today we're gonna do my 5 favorite video games of like all time. You probably should know the first one, because I already mentioned it. And this is Rayman, the first one, this one. Still have it, I value this one, because it's close to my heart, that's mostly why. The gameplay, I'm gonna be all fancy, like a true YouTube game reviewer. This is bad. No, but I like the game very much because, yeah, it's just full with memories and like my early days of life when everything was new and you could explore, and then suddenly, boom, my dad had a computer and this was the game we had, and I played it and I was like, this is amazing, this is why being alive is a thing. So I was really excited for it. That's why it's a little dirty, but that's why I still have it. I value this one a lot because it's one of the first games I have a memory. It's actually one of my first memories of doing anything at all. It's like playing that game with my brother, because we were in like another house back where we used to live in, like Uxie. So I remember we sit outside and we always play that game. So that's like one of my first memories at all. Anyways, Rayman 1 and 3. I never really played Rayman 2 because I played Rayman 3 because we won that in some sort. So never mind. Okay. Well, number 2 then. Oh, I don't have it here, it's in the other room, but I can get it, but it doesn't matter. It's Zelda Twilight Princess. Now, there's not first of all, the gameplay is super fucking good, so from the gameplay perspective, it was revolutionizing for me. I haven't played many adventure games. The closest thing to an actual adventure game I had played before Twilight Princess, or an exploration game, was probably ICO. You know the ICO, it's like the preview, or the prequel for Shadow of the Colossus, if I remember correctly. That's the closest adventure game I ever played. I did have a Zelda for the Game Boy. I think it just was the first one, Legend of Zelda, maybe. No. Which one did I make for the Game Boy? Four Swords? A Link to the Past might have been it. I don't remember which one I had. I had one for the Game Boy, but they didn't really catch me. So, and then when I got my Wii, when I moved, because my dad and well, it's a long story, I'm gonna talk about that more in my Drama Life. But so basically, Dad and my mom broke up, and my dad moved to a new place, and then I really wanted a Wii before that, so we got a Wii as we moved, like a little, okay, here, entertain yourself. No, not really, but like, he wanted me to give something so I'd still feel good about both my parents, which I did, and I loved both of them anyway. But for me, I really wanted, I was like, oh, I could do anything to get my Wii, because I've seen that game at a friend's place, and it just looked so amazing for the standards of game and I was used to. And that was like mostly Lego games and like stuff, which I still have to this day. So that's what I've only played like Rayman and Lego games before I was introduced to Twilight Princess. And then it just, I got so... I remember like my first year of high school, because I have no friends, it was a new place. So I was like, what the fuck do I do when I get home? I watched a lot of YouTube. I started watching Ray William Johnson like 2009 or 8 when he was standing in his backyard with his fence. Because I did that every time I got home instead of doing my homework, which I probably should have done. Do your homework. So I remember there were 2 things I always did. I always used to watch Ray William Johnson's videos, and besides from that, I played Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess in like 2010 or whatever it was when it came out. And that just blew me so much. I remember I even cried at the end, or not the end, but you know the part... Okay, spoilers, but in the part where Midna, the little shadow girl who sits on your back when you're a wolf, when she has to leave you, when she has to go through the mirror portal back, I think, when Zelda, before they smashed it in that desert place. I don't know why, but I teared up like hell that part. It was so like, no, don't go. But that's mostly because I was invested in the game and I put so many hours into it. I mean, because there's a lot of things you can do, and I did everything. I played like I was freaking Gerard from The Completionist. I played every single aspect of that game. I don't think there was anything I could have done more than like glitches and secrets, which I also Googled up, so I think I actually did most of the shit I could do there. So that's mostly because why it's such a favorite game of mine as well, because it took like a lot of my time and I put a lot of my time into it, and then I got really connected to it, and the story it told me, since the changes in my life happening at the same time, it was perfect, because as the creator and Miyamoto and all of them say when they created Zelda, was to create an open adventure world for the player to look around in. So for me, that really it came at the perfect time, let's say it like that. So that's also why that's one of my favorite games. I mean, the game itself is awesome. It's probably probably the favorite Zelda game of all time. It's close. Ocarina of Time was pretty good, and Wind Waker. I don't know. I've played all of Zelda games. I'm a little Zelda nerd, you might say. Oh god. Well, okay. So my third game should be actually one of the games I use for my camera. Sorry, maybe not. Okay, because I don't have a good camera style, so I just have all my PS3 games because they're the perfect size between my screens. So I put just a bunch of them in there. Not even all of them. But I have a lot of games for the PS3. It was the first console I bought with my own money. That I had summer work, and I had like been at my grandpa's house and helped with gardening and like done general things. So that was the first console I felt good, like this is my own. I had saved up and worked to get enough money to get it. So I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna savor every moment of it. Problem is I didn't have a TV to record it that was good enough. We had the one in the living room, but then my mom fixed me another TV, and then since my mom and dad lived in different places, then we fixed one at dad's place too, so I can like shift them. The idea was that I should have the PS3 at my mom's place and the Wii at my dad's place. Not that that's relevant at all, I just wanted to say. So what I did, it wasn't the first game at all actually, it has a longer story, but I'm gonna try to keep it short. It was because my third game is Skyrim. I probably put a title in it, hopefully. So my third favorite game of all time is Skyrim. I mean, the gameplay speaks for itself. It's kind of like the Zelda. I mean, you get emotional connected to it, and it's like huge things to explore, and there's like so much to do. I wouldn't consider it the main reason for it, because first time I actually got to play it was when I started in my gymnasium. I don't know how to redo that, because in Sweden there's like you go your preschooling, then you go like elementary school, basic school, and then it's like once you finish your 9th grade you need to apply for a gymnasium of some sort. So when I started my gymnasium, which was like where you live, what is it called? Fuck, can't think of the word. When you stay at a place, when you stay and you live with your school basically, and you have your own housing. So in the first year I lived like room in the, so if there's a long corridor, my room here and my friend's room here. So I usually at night just jumped over basically, and then we sat and play a lot of games. We played a lot of Minecraft on our school laptops instead of doing homework. That's basically my whole life. I play games instead of doing homework. So well, that explains why I'm so stupid at times. Anyway, so I usually walked over there and we sat and played. And he had Skyrim. We played Skyrim and Halo 2. I think that was, or maybe I don't know. That's what we played the most. We sat there and we played a lot of Skyrim, and it made me connect to him. His name is Sam. I hope it doesn't hurt that I mentioned him. And we sat there, and then we had a friend as well who didn't live at school, but he lived in the town very close by, so we took the train in, and after school he usually stayed an extra few hours and stayed with us. His name is Max, so those are my two best friends. And we played a lot of that, and that's also like, it's always the emotions that comes down for me, how to decide when a game is good. And since the first one is close to my memories and heart, I mean, Zelda is close because all the memories I have from getting emotionally involved and spending so much time in exploring it, and the timing the game's story to tell compared to what happened in my own life. Skyrim is kind of the same, and it's also epic game by itself. It's like the balance has to be perfect. The game has to be good enough quality-wise. I mean, not pixel quality, but like story quality, interaction and mechanics quality, as well as the story and the things that bind you to the game. That's what I would say mostly defines a good game for me, and that's why Skyrim is my number 3. Okay, number 4. Now don't laugh, it's not even the worst one, but you're gonna kill me for the last one. No, please don't. But the 4th, it's Spore. I know, oh, calm down. I know it's a kid's game. I know it was ages ago since they made it, and I didn't play it until like 2011, so like, I think it's like, wait, I have it here actually, I have it on my desktop, I'm still such a kid. 2008, wow. Impressive actually. Let's see. I bought the entire game when I didn't. I bought it like 3 years afterwards when I first tried it. People said, "Oh, it's like Spore." People said like, "Oh, it's like Sims. You'll love it." I didn't like Sims. I hated Sims. It was so boring. No, well, the normal Sims was okay. Sims 3 was probably the only Sims I ever basically liked. I did not much into them at all. The city and the building things are not my things at all. I didn't like Sims very much. But then came Spore along after I played Sims 3, and people said, well, try this instead, and I fucking loved it. The Evolve and all of that, I don't know. And I mean, it helps that it has really cute graphics as well. Oh wow. I was supposed to be an adult playing kids games, huh? There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, number 5. The shameful one. Well, no, I don't see anything shameful with it, but hear me out before you judge me on it. People, this game has sparked controversy in some people, and it has good reasons for it. Now, in my top 5 list of games, this one comes always at number 5, or at least it's always in my top 10 anyway. I'm not exactly specific on what order, but it's actually RuneScape. Yeah, I know, I can hear you sigh already. There's a lot of reasons why that game, but as I said before, it's a little bit the emotion, because that's one game that has been like followed me all the time, because there's always been that little friend. First, like when I was in elementary school, there were always that little friend who like had a brother who paid for the whole game, so he was like the master on the game. And then he was like, oh, let's play this, and he spent so many hours on the game, that kid. So like, he introduced me to that game too, like saying, oh, he wanted people to play with, and then he got all the boys and half of the girls in school to play along. So like, everyone played it, but that's the best thing about it, because even later, even for people who didn't care for games, I had a laptop where I lived, you could still play it. That was the best part. That's why I like it so much, because all you needed was like an email. And I mean, most of my class, they faked an email in the school's library computer, and then they just sat there during some classes and played the game. So that was probably what it helped. It helped my entire friendships around my high school years, because we moved to a new place, so I didn't have any. But like, that was one of the games who helped a little bit. That and Happy Wheels, we played that a lot, because there were like 4 school computers, like 2 on each side, and we just used to race to get them. So the people who played, either they played something silly like Happy Wheels, and we all sat behind them and looked, and we laughed our asses off for stuff they did. So that was kind of technically my first Let's Play introduction without a camera, though. That's irrelevant. So what we did more, we also played a little bit of RuneScape. Some people did, at least. So it's a good game for connecting to people. It's old as fuck, I know. It wasn't even a good game when it came out. Well, that's debatable. I'm not gonna debate too much to it. So yeah, what the controversy about the game was, many people preferred games with good obviously with good graphics and beautiful scenery. So we're always that battle like between free to play, pay to play for good graphics, and like where does the line go? We always debated that even in school. And of course the 2 contestants were mostly World of Warcraft and RuneScape. I preferred RuneScape actually, and don't hate me, I was not much into World of Warcraft guy at all. I played that level 20 thing you could do for like some, I don't even know, I played something, I don't even think I became level 20, I gave up on like level 15. I mean, it's nothing against the grinding part, it didn't really catch my draft, it didn't really stick with it enough. But RuneScape did, however, because I like the mechanic and the trading system a little bit more, because you can interact more with the people instead of the NPCs, in my opinion. Because sure, in World of Warcraft there's raiding and things you do with a community, but then you had to get stuff. You had to do a lot of questing, and you had to grind and level up before you could do the fun stuff. In RuneScape, once you hit level 20, you could go and trade with people like 5,000 levels high now, but you can like, I remember that like the first time I become level 20 and I needed like the mithril thing, I think it was mithril you could wear at level 20, because there were level limits on items, which is logically. So I think I was level 20 something, and then you just go away and you started trading, and then there was like this super high level guy who pitied you for being such a noob and just gave you all the shit. And you see, that's the best part, because sure, you needed the level requirements for the items, and some required membership, and that's also what brought up the whole argue thingy about the games. But I mean, some games are worth paying for. I'm not much into the subscription fee. I'll rather pay a big number straight up front and have the game. Because if I like go away a month, then I've technically paid for some time I wouldn't spend it at all. Then I'd rather just pay all of it straight up and don't have to worry about sending a regular amount of money. So, but that's my opinion anyway. So yeah, RuneScape actually gets number 5 just because the connectivity between the game, the mechanics, and that it's quicker to interact and bond with people. Because even if you spawn right in the home of Lumbridge, once you spawned, if you had a friend or someone who also wanted to spawn, you just 2 new accounts and you're right next to each other, and you could do all the quests simultaneously and basically be the same level. Of course, there were the other guy who just, once he went to school, he just stayed and farmed up like 20 levels ahead of you. So that's probably why that game is still on my list though. And it's a decent good game for, I mean, I never judge a game about its graphics. That's game and graphics combined. I also played a lot of Doom, but that's not my favorite game, it's just more fun. But yeah, so that's my top 5 favorite games. Oh, this is horrible, my throat has been hurting all day. Hope you enjoyed this anyway, for some reason, I don't know. I felt like it's more relatable since I like to do Let's Plays. I mean, 10 things about me, sure, but I'm also working on doing a good Draw My Life, so you get to know all of this stuff that I've already hinting a little bit to. So if you would like to see me do a draw my life, like this video. It's easy, just as easy as that, because I see, if you go to YouTube, the statistics and analytics, you see the activity, and that's the little keyword. If I see that there's some activity and there's some little bit of interest, that's what sparks me to do another thing. That's all it takes. So thank you sincerely for watching. I hope you enjoyed it so far. I might cut something more in after this, because this is my vlog. If not, I'll see you in something else.